The Joe Rogan Experience.
So when I started, I moved to. Actually, I have a story with you.
Oh yeah.
About first starting.
Oh.
You were responsible for basically the first time I ever went on stage. I mean, almost in a comedy. I think Zany Chicago might have been the first actual club I went to. It was either that or the Comedy Store. So I was friends with a buddy of mine, Josh Baker. He was in the band Prom Kings. Do you remember a band? I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we came out to L.A. to hang out with him, and and so they knew you. And so this is, I mean, I think it's 2003 or 4. And I've been doing comedy maybe a year. And so we come out, and then you invite us to the show at the Comedy Store. So we come watch you. We sit in the front row. I remember all this stuff that's like a nightmare as a comic.
Wow.
Now when you think back, then I didn't care.
Had you been thinking about doing it already?
I already started. I moved to
you did,
Chicago.
okay.
So I was in Chicago with like Hannibal and Pete Holmes and TJ Miller and Kumail. Like that was kind of the group that was in Chicago. So we went from Chicago to LA to go just visit. And so we hung out with them. We go to your show. You introduced them at one of their shows because I guess you were good friends with these people or with the band, or you liked this band. And so you introduced them. And I remember I talked to you afterwards. Like we were like at the show, and I'm like talking about comedy. I'm trying not to be. I'm a new comic, so I don't even really know what to ask. You were very, very nice. And then we go watch you, and then you said you're going to go up at the Comedy Store. And I was like, it was when you had to sign up for the open mic the week later. So you signed up for the Monday to go up the next week. And I was like, I'm not going to be here. And you go, oh, I'll call. And then you got me on stage. You called and said, hey, he's just in town doing this. I mean, dude, I'm a year comic.
Look at it.
So
it worked out.
It worked out, dude. They brought me up. They go, this next comic's one of Joe Rogan's best friends. And then the other comics were just furious. And I'm like, I was like, we met him last night. He's a very nice guy.
That's a funny thing, man. Those little like nudges and like little pieces of good, like criticism or good, a praise from a comic when you're starting out, like that can go so far.
So far.
So I remember to this day, like Lenny Clark, I'd done stand-up. I'd done it for like a year, and I'd gotten paid one time before. This is the second time I ever got paid. And I opened up for Lenny Clark in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. This was after
I think
Lenny.
I've done this show.
Really?
This gig, yeah.
Is it Jay's in Pittsfield?
Was it in a hotel?
I don't think so.
I've done a Pittsfield Massacre.
It was like a nightclub, and it was like one of the best road gigs. Like everybody it was a 3-hour drive from Boston, but it was one of those road gigs where everybody would get excited. And this was after Lenny had been on HBO. He was on the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian Special, the Ronnie called it. And so just being around him was crazy, and then opening for him was even more crazy. And then after I got off stage, he was like, "Kid, you're really funny," like with that crazy Boston accent. And man, that powered me through like years. Years, I was like, "Oh man, I'm doing this. Like I'm never quitting now." Like Lenny Clark said, "I'm funny. Fuck, yeah, I'm good."
It's it's gigantic.
Yeah.
Like that was you doing that at that time. I knew the Comedy Store, but it's not like I even really. And then it was like going to New York and then be like, I've already done the Comedy Store, even though it was the open mic. It was just I saw the world, and I got to see the world. And then talking to you at that the band, you were just talking about going up and like you got to go up, like stuff that you would say to comics, but it was like stuff that I didn't know at that time, and you realize that's enormous. Yeah, that's enormous. I did that Pittsfield Mass gig. Because I was in New York, I opened up for Tony V.
Oh, I love Tony V.
Yeah, and I was the host. Got paid $500. It was crazy. Like I was like, this is crazy. I've never been paid $500 for a gig.
Right.
It's packed, it's sold out. I mean, you just murder. And I thought maybe it wasn't at a hotel. I don't remember. My wife went with me. It was a big night. They give me $500 cash. I end up later on that night, I lose the $500.
Oh no!
It just falls out. Why? So the night goes from this amazing night with my wife for $500 to now we're in a fight, and but I mean I still think I'd tell her every day because at the time I was like, you ever going to remember this $500? Like I always kind of live by that motto. Like I'll get another $500. I bring it up still. I mean it's been 15 years and I still just go, you remember that $500? Like just to make that point.
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free only on Spotify. Watch back catalog JRE videos on Spotify, including clips. Easily, seamlessly switch between video and audio experience. On Spotify, you can listen to the JRE in the background while using other apps and can download episodes to save on data cost, all for free. Spotify is absolutely free. You don't have to have a premium account to watch new JRE episodes. You just need to search for the JRE on your Spotify app. Go to Spotify now to get this full episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.